Alright, hello. The music up a little bit. Right, so tonight it's just going to be workshop working with me as I go through some client updates, and also if we get time I'm going to chat through a few little standard WordPress things that people usually ask me about, from analytics through to just some stuff I generally see. So to start with, I've got a few updates, so feel free to body double along and just chill out, have fun. Okay, so the main issue we got here is this image is not scaling nicely on mobile, so I think it's to do with it being portrait, not landscape. But we'll have a little look, little goose inside. let's have a look. There we go. So it's looking a little more mobile friendly, but obviously the crop's not right, so that's purely to do with portrait versus landscape. So either we find different images, or we could build a mobile block. Yeah. Does it matter? I need to do the same for obviously this up here. But I'm sure we've got this as a landscape image. Yeah, so that'll look alright. Just because it looks a bit crap on or a bit naff on desktop. You fix the mobile version and then you make it look worse on desktop. So it's just one of those things. Oh. WC Cache has started injecting stuff into the code on the page. Little adverts. Yes, that looks nice there, you see. So let's take it out. Don't look too bad, I suppose. It's a little off, but the other option is no, that might not work. I was going to say we could split this into two column here, and then let this text stretch out underneath. But the big but is that on mobile, then this image would get injected between, or not injected because it's not injected, but it would get split between these two paragraphs. So left align it. Yeah. On what? So I've got my business partner on chat. Ooh, my voice is going. Ooh. That does look a bit better, being line middle. Yeah, right. What, Mr. Beavis, is the next task? That should look good on mobile still, because it's aligning to the space that is available. So mobile is just a smaller space, so it just aligns to that smaller space. So it stacks nicely. And same for this, and we'll just ask the client if that image looks fine like this, or whether they actually want us to redesign the, or not so redesign. What is the word? I cannot even think. Basically take it into Photoshop and align it. That definitely is not the word. But you know what I mean. Take a portrait image and we'll recrop it. That's a better term. And we'll recrop the image so that it looks, you get the full image into the landscape. Cool. So, I think next we need to be adding the client wants some little icons added in here. I'll just wait for my producer to give me the thumbs up if that is then right for the next thing. Icons on header next. Do. Hey Will, welcome. So just working through some client sites on WordPress at the moment. With some nice little tunes on the background. I'm not getting answers, so I'm going to find for myself. Yeah, that is what. Cool. We're going to do that. That's what the client wants. We're going to do it. So, what we're going to do is we've got a load of these really nice icons that the client uses for each of their different services. And obviously with this page we define what we do for shipyards, so what we're going to do here is reflect these icons down into the different sections that relate to those icons or those services. But at the moment we just got a nice header, and what we want is the client would like the icon to appear here, so which in theory is simple-ish to do. Why is that two H2s? There we go. Let's make it one H2. That'll make life easier. So then what we're going to do is we're going to add a... Come on, WordPress. Going to add a row. I think that'll be the easiest way to do this. And then we'll put the header in the row somehow. Into the row, and what we're going to do is we'll add in an image. Move that over to the left, which is how the client would like it, and then we've already got these icons in the media library, though I cannot remember which is which. 3D laser scanning. I think it's this. Yeah. There we go. And so now what we need to do just add a nice little bit of padding in between the two, which the row can do by default. You have block space in here. The Y is... ah, I know why. I did it. There we go. That should be as simple as that. So if you look on mobile, it might look a little naff. So maybe we won't do that. Because so the difference between a row in WordPress is that the row, as you can see, when it just goes to mobile, keeps everything on the one line. It doesn't stack. In this regard, we probably want it to stack. So to do that, I'll probably just use a column. Make that a 2 call. And we will why am I not getting the center line? There we go. Do do do. That don't look too bad. Desktop version is somewhere. That looks atrocious on desktop. Which is fine. What we're going to do is we'll break this column out of that column so that you can go full width. Why? I know why. I'm going to be like 10%, and then so what we've got here is that the column, when we set it up, was set to a 50-50 split between the two columns. Obviously we don't need that because the icon is far smaller than the header. So I've just split this to give it 10%, and then that will get 90. How's that going to make it look on mobile? Looks fine. Just need to put a bit of padding on the header. I'll do it at the column level. How's the music? Is it loud, too quiet? There we go. So we're going to do the same over here. This column got any padding on? That's why. Let's split this out. Take the top off. Oh, I've not got the light on. Whee! There we go. I think that looks alright. There we go. Those edits made. Come roll. Cool, so that's kind of fundamentals of what the client is asking for. I'll let the rest of the team do the actual implementation of that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get onto analytics and I'm going to build some stuff. Cool. So get onto building a little dashboard for looking at your UTM data, specifically using a lot of campaigns. So this is something I've recently built for some colleagues in my day job. Because one thing I find is GA4 is just a pain, particularly trying to find your campaign data if you've produced some campaigns. I'd say something like this would be useful for whether you're a small business or what you'll find if you're an enterprise, even a marketing team in an enterprise. Chances are that as a marketer or day job, you're just doing lots of different things. So being a specialist in analytics or a specialist in how to get data out of analytics is not necessarily going to be something you're familiar with, although it's always worth keeping the skills sharp. So even I don't enjoy trying to find my campaign data in analytics, because you can go here and you could find and say, well, session campaign, and so we've got some campaigns that we've run, but like trying to find this report, having to go and click that, we're limited by what else we can see next to it. So I'm just going to do a little build along. So first up, Looker Studio, connect to Google Analytics. So for me, my Vancano, connect that up. By the way, I'm running through really quickly on connecting this. There's plenty of tutorials and guides online showing how to connect Looker Studio with GA4. It's all native, it's all Google products, so it should be all simple. Give it a little name, campaign report, and I'm just going to use the freeform because I hate how the responsive operates. So as always, I'm going to add my date range control, and it should be set to 30 days. Might set to today. That's 28. There we go. Put a little bit of text in. Campaign. Right. So this table will be where we display the majority of the data. But at the moment it's purely looking at event name, which I'm not interested in. I want my campaigns. So just search on the right hand side looking for the session campaign. We'll put that in as a dimension. There we go. So that's pulling that in. And then I'm going to put in there. So sessions. Might put a little bit of engagement in. I'm just going to put some session source medium. I'm not going to do it as one, or do it as separate. I'm back. I'm back. Where were we? So at sessions, just trying to find my medium. Session medium, there we go. Not an SA3 at 30. Session. Ditch referrals. Let's just add a filter to get rid of referrals, because this second I'm not that interested. Not equals to referral. There we go. I'll take all them out. was a donkey move because most of the campaigns I have are referrals. Yeah. Oh, look here, we're getting... I know Yandex is a search engine, obviously a Russian one, which is a bit weird, but... And Yahoo, that's a search engine surely, referral. Go on Google, what are you doing with your attribution? Let's get change these to... And I will flip them around because that's how you normally see it. We'll throw in bounce. Fast for views, I'm not sure. Also, I don't have any conversions set up on my site because this is just my personal site for my sandbox where I get to play stuff. So I don't have particularly any campaign or rather conversions set up. But if you did, you could then either include them in this table, or as I've done for some of my colleagues, I've put extra little filters, or not filters, little displays down here. But we will set some little filters up now. So we'll add controls, and we'll add an advanced filter. And nice, it's already set to session campaign. Default it to contains. And so now on here, I could put in, so if I put in WB core, then it'll filter out to just my world building core, which is one of my sites. So the idea is that, particularly if you work in a large organization, and maybe you're part of a department, then I always recommend people put into their campaign name their department at the start, because then when you come to reports like this, you could just type your department in. So if you're marketing, marketing, or I don't know, HR. If you're HR with a web presence and you're doing links from your site or from other sites, maybe you've got a flyer that you've promoted, and you want on your tracking, you've got your flyer and a link through to your site. You could put some UTM tracking onto that flyer, and using your HR at the beginning means you could just search here and it would bring back all your campaigns. But as it is, I don't have any of that on my site, so we just leave it blank. Then I'm going to add some drop down, not drop downs, I'm going to add some, maybe it's drop down. Yeah, it's drop down. So we'll do that for both campaign. Let's make it nice and chunky though. Okay, let's call it campaign. Duplicate. I'll change this to source. you go. And so now if I want to just look at, say, organic, you can click organic only, and that pulls up just all organic sources, which is Google, as you'd expect, the big boy, the big one. In sources, you can pick any particular source. So look at my synth mark, see what's going on there. Or maybe I'll do Reddit. So that's how much Reddit sent to us. So this is just a really nice simple dashboard for campaign reporting. As I say, much easier than using your going into Google Analytics and having to find where you are over time, find the right report, having to go and find or rather filtering by your campaigns, by your source mediums. You've got those filters already set up. It's just a matter of inputting what it is you're wanting to look at and filter by. And with it being looker, you can then add extra stuff. So as I say, if you had so you could use a scorecard down here, and if you had any, let's see what events we've got set up in here. I've got a key event of a purchase. Definitely don't, but that must be a default. You see, you could set up your key event there, and it would then tell you what happened. And let's just do a session for now. So if I put on a summary row, so you can see there, summary row 684. So here it's only picking up 681. Interesting. It's always what you love. Anyway, so if we then change this to, say, organic, this should also update. So you can see there. So it's obviously something different in the way that it's calculating sessions versus. Oh, it's kind of looking at views, of course. There we go. Sessions is correct. 681 sessions. Each session, or 3 haven't had a view, so for some reason, so maybe that's just a bot that was counted. So I say, so if you had any key events, any kind of anything specific that you're tracking, you could put them on here, and it would filter and show you how each of your campaigns were doing. Again, so I can look on, I can see how my websites are doing in terms of driving key campaigns through to me by filtering by them. So there you go. So that's a nice, really simple one to build and very useful. So there we go. So I think I might leave that there for today. Hope you've all had fun working along with me, getting to see seeing WordPress, getting to see the Looker Studio, and I'll always probably have a lot more Looker Studio dashboards to create and to show and share, so I've got that at some point. Right, have fun, keep safe, and chat later.